So my buddy Jim turned 62 last month. Came over for coffee, asked me what I thought about taking Social Security early. I said, "What's your plan?" He goes, "Well, I read online that if I wait until 70, I'll get 30% more per month, so obviously I should wait, right?" I asked him, "Can you afford to wait 8 years without that $1,800 a month?" "Well, no, I'd have to drain my savings." He paused. "So you'd burned through $170,000 of your nest egg to get a bigger check at 70? Another pause from him. "When you say it like that." Here's the thing. Everyone online acts like there's one right answer to the Social Security question. Take it at 62, take it at 67, take it at 70. But the right answer depends on your life, not some calculator. Let's talk through this like neighbors, not like I'm your financial guru, because I'm not. I'm just a guy who's seen people make this decision 100 different ways. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the basic numbers, because if you don't understand what you're actually choosing between, you can't make a good decision. Social Security starts at 62. That's the earliest you can claim. But if you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67. That's when you get 100% of your benefit. If you take it at 62, you get about 70% of your full benefit, permanently, for life. If you wait until 70, you get about 124% of your full benefit, also permanently, for life. So if your full benefit at 67 is $2,000 a month, at 62, you'd get about $1,400 a month. At 67, you'd get $2,000 a month. At 70, you'd get about $2,480 a month. That's a $1,080 difference between 62 and 70. Over a year, that's almost $13,000 more if you wait. Sounds like a no-brainer, right? Just wait. Except there's a catch. Actually, there's several catches. Catch number one, you have to live long enough for waiting to actually pay off. Let's do the math on Jim's situation. If he takes Social Security at 62, he gets $1,400 a month. If he waits until 70, he gets $2,480 a month. But between 62 and 70, he's given up 8 years of checks. That's 96 months times $1,400. That's $134,400 he didn't collect. So when does waiting catch up? At 70, he's getting $1,080 more per month than he would have gotten at 62. $134,400 divided by $1,080 is 124 months. That's over 10 years. So Jim breaks even at about age 80. If he lives to 85, waiting was worth about $65,000 more over his lifetime. If he lives to 90, waiting was worth about $130,000 more. But if he dies at 75, he lost money by waiting. Now, nobody knows when they're going to die, but you know your health. You know your family history. If your dad died at 68 and your mom died at 71, and you've got diabetes and high blood pressure, maybe don't bet on making it to 90. If your parents are both still alive in their 90s and you're in great shape, maybe waiting makes sense. But here's what nobody tells you. The break-even analysis assumes you don't need the money between 62 and 70, and that's where most people get it wrong. Catch number two, what are you spending while you wait? Jim's got about $250,000 saved in his 401k. He needs about $4,000 a month to live on in retirement. If he takes Social Security at 62, he gets $1,400 a month. He needs to pull $2,600 a month from his 401k to make up the difference. If he waits until 70, he gets $0 a month from Social Security. He needs to pull the full $4,000 a month from his 401k. Over 8 years, that's an extra $384,000 he's pulling out of savings. Wait, he only has $250,000 saved, so he can't even afford to wait until 70. He'd run out of money at about age 67. So the optimal strategy on paper is literally impossible for him in reality. Here's the thing most calculators don't account for. When you pull money out of your 401k or IRA early, you're not just losing that money, you're losing all the growth that money could have had. Let's say Jim's investments average 6% per year. If he leaves $100,000 in his account for 8 years, it grows to about $160,000. But if he pulls that $100,000 out to live on while waiting for Social Security, it's just gone. So waiting for a bigger Social Security check might cost you more in lost investment growth than you gain in higher monthly payments. It's not always a bad trade, but it's a trade people forget to calculate. Catch number 3, the best years of retirement are the early years. I know a couple, both waited until 70 to take Social Security, maximized their benefit, did everything right. At 72, the husband had a stroke. At 74, the wife was diagnosed with Parkinson's. They'd planned this big RV trip across the country. They were going to travel, see the grandkids, live it up. But by the time they had the bigger checks, they couldn't do any of it. They saved money by waiting, but they lost time, and you can't buy time back. Here's what I've noticed. People in their 60s travel. They go out, they're active. People in their 70s slow down. Not everyone, but most. People in their 80s, they're not taking road trips. They're managing medications and doctor appointments. So if you wait until 70 to maximize your income, you might have more money during the years when you can do less with it. I'm not saying blow all your money at 62. I'm saying there's value in having income when you still have energy. Here's my honest take, neighbor to neighbor. Take Social Security at 62 if you need the money. Seriously, if waiting means burning through your savings or going into debt, just take it. A smaller check you can count on beats a bigger check you can't afford to wait for. Your health isn't great. If you've got serious conditions or your family history suggests you won't make it to 80, take the money now. You want to preserve your savings. If taking Social Security early lets you leave your 401k alone to keep growing, that might be smarter than waiting. You're going to enjoy the money now. If you've got plans, travel, hobbies, helping grandkids, and those plans happen in your 60s, fund them. Wait until 67 or 70 if you're still working and don't need the money yet. If you're earning income, there's no point in taking Social Security early. It might even reduce your benefit temporarily due to the earnings test. You've got plenty of other income. If you have a pension, rental income, or a big nest egg, you can afford to let Social Security grow. You're in great health and longevity runs in your family. If you're likely to live into your 90s, waiting pays off big time. Your spouse will depend on your benefit. If you're the higher earner and your spouse will get survivor benefits based on your record, waiting increases what they'll get after you're gone. Here's the thing most people miss. Social Security isn't just about math. It's about psychology. Some people sleep better at night knowing they've got a guaranteed $1,400 a month coming in at 62, even if it's leaving money on the table. Other people would stress every single month about should have waited and regret the decision. You've got to know yourself. One more thing before I wrap this up, and it's important if you're married. When one spouse dies, the surviving spouse gets the higher of the 2 Social Security checks, but they don't get both. So if you're both getting $1,800 a month, $3,600 total, and one of you passes away, the survivor drops to $1,800. That's a 50% income cut at exactly the time when you're dealing with grief, medical bills, and funeral costs. This is why some couples do a split strategy. The lower earning spouse takes Social Security at 62 or 67. The higher earning spouse waits until 70. That way you've got some income now, but if the higher earner dies first, the survivor gets the maxed out benefit for the rest of their life. It's not romantic, but it's smart. Look, I can't tell you when to take Social Security. I don't know your health, your savings, your expenses, or your plans. But I can tell you this. The right answer on a calculator isn't always the right answer for your life. If you need the money at 62, take it. Don't feel guilty. You paid into the system your whole working life. It's your money. If you can afford to wait and you want the bigger check, wait. That's fine too. But don't let some online calculator or some expert who doesn't know you make this decision for you. Talk to your spouse, look at your actual numbers, Think about your health and your plans, and then make the call that lets you sleep at night. Because retirement's supposed to be the good years. Don't spend them second-guessing yourself. All right, that's it from the porch today. See you then.